What's up, everybody? It's your favorite tattoo artist here, Michael Manarino, and this is By Appointment Only, the tattoo podcast where we talk about tattoos, why we love them, why we hate them, and more importantly, the magical and mystical relationship between a tattoo artist and a person getting tattooed. Season 3, We're back, baby. We're back, baby.
Season 3.
I survived Miami. I survived vacation. I missed my wonderful producers, Grits and Gravy, so much. It's good to be back podcasting, and it's good to be here.
You dodged 2 hurricanes.
I dodged not one, but 2 slurricanes. The first one in Los Angeles, the second one in Miami. I just got it like that. The weather respects me.
God's favorite.
It's true. I'm not going to say I'm God's favorite.
Oh, that's a crazy t-shirt. Michael Manarino, God's favorite tattoo artist.
Semicolon, the weather respects me. Yeah, I'm really fun. Okay, I need to look into that.
Yeah.
Well, season 3, we're off to the races. Our first guest, the magical, the mystical, the wonderful, the interesting and trippy. We just tattooed you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yo, we got to have you on the pod. Roxanne is here. What's up, Roxanne? Thank you for being on the pod.
Let's
hear it.
Thank you.
Roxanne, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, first of all, I'm super honored to be the first guest of season 3. 3 is my favorite number, and obviously 333, which we'll get into later. But
Hell
3
yeah.
is like my favorite number. I think there's something very magical about the Holy Trinity. So thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. We're back. We have to do 202 episodes, so I got to really get into gear.
Why not 222 episodes?
Listen, let's not keep I pulled up to the homie pod with 100, and then for some reason we started bidding onto 200.
And then the random fucking.
And then here we are. And so now we have to at the least bare minimum do 202 episodes. So I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Yeah. But season 3, episode 1, you're here. Tell the world, tell everyone in podcast land all about yourself.
Well, what's good, everyone? My name is Roxanne Roncal, also known as Substance on the internet. Never ever Roxy. I have to tell people I don't fuck with that nickname for whatever reason.
Damn, I called you Roxy when I was tattooing you, and I feel super bad now.
I know, but I knew that this was gonna come, so I saved it for the podcast.
Okay.
Just to broadcast. Ooh, bars.
Yo, we're off to a good start. We're clearly off to a good start.
Better battle rapper than Crip Mac is. That's crazy.
Don't let Crip Mac hear you saying that, because your ass is going to get dealt with in the streets.
That's fine.
So I would also like to start with a disclaimer, because we are going to get into some psychedelic trippy conversation. Everything that I am disclosing here, all events, just purely entertainment and informational. They could also not be true. This is like to not incriminate myself. So
Oh, okay.
just so we know.
Yeah, you hear that, police?
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, if you are like offended by, I guess, a adult conversation about psychedelics, maybe this isn't the podcast for you tonight, but I can't imagine who's going to be like, sorry, we got to turn that shit off.
This is the one that cancels you?
Yeah, of all the ones we've done.
I don't think it's cancelable. I just think it's a criminal offense to be partaking in Schedule 1 drugs.
I mean, we're not going to talk about like doing coke meth. We're just going to talk about psychedelics.
Yeah, but psychedelics, we'll get into it. So anyway.
Okay. You clearly came prepared.
Yes, because I have all this shit in writing somewhere on my website, and at the very bottom it says, by the way, none of this is actually real if you're a fucking cop. So, because my whole like history and upbringing is around, which I think I feel that there is something controversial of having parents who do psychedelics. So anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll back it up. My name is Roxanne, aka Substance, never Roxy. Sometimes rocks. I do like rocks.
Just know why, or
Just
i.e.
know
get
why.
that shit out of here.
Yeah.
Is it ROX?
ROX.
Okay.
You don't do ROXXX? Is that like too explicit?
No.
Or too straight edge?
It's just excessive, a bit cumbersome. I like the brevity of rocks.
Okay. Streamlined.
3 letters.
Damn.
I fuck with 3.
Honestly, this one is giving a run for her money on the mystical shit. It's already happening. We're already doing it.
So by trade, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a creative agency called Proper Worldwide, specializing. Oops, my apologies.
It's okay. They're just microphones.
I just hate when it's like doo-doosh. Specializing in digital media and content creation, also some strategy, as far as just digital campaigns and brand strategy. That's my business side of things, although I'd like to eventually do way more hands-off things. But right now, the creative agency is what pays the bills. In my dream space and who I am just by spirit, I definitely aspire to be a poet, philosopher, and revolutionary. But we all know there's no money in fucking fighting for justice in the world. So those dreams, that's why they're like dreams for now. And I've learned to sort of compartmentalize. And then I also, the container, the platform that I have to express all those dreams is Better in Doses, which is a psychedelic creative platform.
Hell yeah. That was, I think, usually, and like no shade to other people that have been on the show, they're usually just like, hi, my name is Michael. I get tattooed by Mike.
I don't know, I do shit.
Yeah. I have a job.
And that was just the first piece of it. That was just the first, like, this is what I do. But other than that, I'm a first gen Filipino American. I was born and raised in Las Vegas, and I have been living in LA consistently since 2020.
Hell yeah. So you came here prepared, all guns blazing. We're ready to rock and roll. So I was going to ask you this before we started recording, but I think this is a really important question to me, and I think the world probably wants to know. So you came from great lengths to be here on the pod tonight.
Oh my fucking
You had
God.
car issues. Your car got towed.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get an Uber home. Then you had to get an Uber here. It's been a whole fucking thing, right? And you said tomorrow you're going to call Subaru. And you're going to say, yo, what's good with my car?
Yes.
What if, okay.
They're like, that shit's clapped.
What if they're like, Roxanne, we really need you to just come down to the dealership. We have a pretty serious issue. And you're like, okay, yeah, no sweat. I got it. You get your Uber down to the Subaru dealership and you go to the mechanics bay and they're like, oh, you're Roxanne. Come with us. And they take you around back to where like the tires and like the dumpsters and all that shit is. And they're like, well, the problem is this isn't a car. This is a horse. And they just show you they're just a horse like clip clopping and like doing that in the parking lot. What are you going to say?
Yo, fucking tell me you're a writer without telling me you're a writer. What would I say? I would probably call Carvana, which is where I got the car, and be like, yo, what the fuck is this?
But then what if they're like, yeah, you bought a horse. Like we have paperwork. And then they have like a little Polaroid of like you with like a big cowboy hat on. And like, yeah, you're doing the thumbs up and you're holding the bridle and you're like smiling. And they're like, it's a horse. You bought a horse.
I would have been like, yo, if this was the fucking 1700s, sign me up. But this simply won't do, my guy.
But they have the paperwork. They have the picture. Like it's your horse. You're like Roxanne's signature.
You have to pay
ROX.
for his carrots, a little bit of hay.
Yeah.
A little bit of nay,
Well, fuck. The whole practicality of it sort of distracted me from like the magic and mysticism of a horse because they are very mystical creatures.
Yes.
So a bit shocked at first. Appreciation would eventually settle in. And then really I gotta get practical again. Like, bro, I can't be riding around Los Angeles with a horse.
So how many weeks or months before you're like, I need to sell this?
Well, I don't even know if I would sell it per se. I really
Would you like take it out to the desert and be like, you're free, go live with other Mustangs?
no, definitely not.
crazy.
Definitely not that.
Of everything we're talking about today, letting it be free with other horses is the craziest thing.
Yes.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I might bring it to the Compton Cowboys and see what they would do.
Yo, the Compton Cowboys are sick.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone out there, if you don't know about the Compton Cowboys, the history of it, the history of black cowboys, listen to that shit, educate yourself about it, because everyone in the world should know black people invented being a cowboy. And I know that's fucking crazy, and some people are gonna be like, whoa, blah, blah, blah. Nope, you're wrong. You're wrong. Black Americans invented the cowboy lifestyle in conjunction with working with native peoples to create the whitest culture ever. And here we are today, white ass, racist ass people. Oh, dude, Grits and Gravy fighting over the microphone to say
And now
something.
we have Lil Nas X.
Gravy, is that what you were gonna say?
Nah, he got it.
That's so hilarious. Monkey Paw. Ooh, is this even? Nah, fuck it. Monkey Paw is, I mean, Nope. Their latest movie, Jordan Peele's latest movie, was about the black cowboy, black Western sci-fi.
Yeah.
And they've got more things coming. I probably can't truly disclose it, but I'll just say that they are going to continue on this world building of Black cowboys. So
it's like a super fascinating thing. And once because I listened to a podcast about it and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And I started to educate myself and I like read a book and like it absolutely blew my mind. Like even just looking up, if you Google pictures of Black cowboys, they're the fucking coolest pictures. And it's like, it just doesn't, what you're taught in history, like Wild Bill Hickok and Billy the Kid and all that shit, that's what my brain instantly goes to, or white guys with mustaches. And then you see these pictures and it's the exact same thing, but it's Black Americans that were like the children or were freed slaves and were like, fuck it, I'm going to go to the West. I'm going to make my way. I already know how to be a farmhand. And like everyone out here is gunslinging and shit, so let's go. It makes sense to me.
I was today years old. I only knew just the surface of it. That's fucking amazing that you know that.
I like to learn things a lot. It's my favorite thing.
Like
Do you want to get comfy with your microphone? I feel like you're not comfortable with it. No, but you want to talk into this piece.
I want to talk into this. Oh, what's that? Okay. Damn, that felt all sensual for no reason. Okay.
You can grab that shit.
Yeah, you
Okay.
get comfy. Get cozy.
We're comfy and cozy.
Okay. So let's talk about the real shit. Let's talk about art and psychedelics and tattoos and love and all these things, magic numbers. When you were a little girl, when was the first time you really experienced art? What was the first time you felt like you were sensitive to art and beautiful things and nature and all that? Because I know you're very in tune with all those things.
So nature, I think as a little girl, I sort of took it for granted because my parents were Filipino hippies who came to America and they're on psychedelics and taking their kids to Yosemite and Red Rock and Zion. And as a little kid, I just want like easy, fun things to do to play. And after a while, mountains just look like mountains.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I mean, my biggest activity out in nature was like throwing rocks in the river with my brothers. But I do think that there was a gratitude for it that I just didn't have as a kid as much as I do now. For art, I think, well, the first thing I ever wanted to be was a singer, which is just hilarious.
Who was the singer that inspired you? Was it like a Mariah Carey? Was it a Beyonce? Who was it?
It was Selena.
Hell yeah, respect Selena.
I really liked Destiny's Child and Destiny's Child, a lot of R&B shit.
Okay.
So music, loved music, and then growing up with classic rock from my parents. So I think that was the biggest form of art that I was exposed to and like really felt deep in my soul.
Do you think early on, like as a little girl, did you feel artistic, or was it something that came to you more as like a teenager and as an adult?
The funny thing is I didn't grow up thinking I was creative. The first creative business project I had was a fashion brand with my two best friends who were talented artists, a fashion designer and a visual artist. And I had I couldn't draw. I didn't have like a distinct style per se. But I knew how to write and was like sort of the business and marketing brain. So for a long time, I didn't think I was creative.
Do you think you're creative now?
I do think I'm creative now.
Do you feel like you, and especially from talking to you now in this setting, do you feel like you're equal parts like business brain and creative brain?
I hate to fucking say it, but yeah, like
say that shit.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, talk your shit.
Because I've everyone likes to think they're like the ideal mix, but I think the more creatives I meet, the more I'm seeing that business just doesn't come naturally.
Yes.
But even then, so compared to my creative friends, yes, I am like very well balanced, but then I go in the business world and I could like Tim Ferriss would out buzzword me so fast in the business world. And just like, so amongst the creatives, I feel like very well balanced. Amongst the business people, I don't feel like I know my shit. But I think just like objectively looking at myself and like what I've been able to accomplish with my business knowledge and what I've been able to self-teach for my creative endeavors, like I do feel very balanced.
I agree. Just from knowing you, I think that you are equal parts creative and good business person, businesswoman, whatever you prefer. But
thank you.
I feel that knowing you and talking with you, it's very apparent, like, and you're able to combine the two. And generally speaking, I mean, this is a crazy compliment, but you look at someone like a Steve Jobs, and he was really good at taking creativity and a business mind and being pragmatic and practical and combining all those things together. Obviously, he was eccentric. Obviously, he was kind of a hectic dude. But I think the most successful people often are able to compartmentalize all those different parts of their brain and combine it into one brain. So let's talk about tattoos a little bit.
Okay.
What was the first experience you had, like as a child, teen, whatever, as tattoos? When did you first see tattoos and realize that you wanted them?
My dad had this tattoo, or this, he has like a smaller version of this on the back of his shoulder.
Sick.
And then he has my mom's name on his chest.
Hell yeah. Is
And
it like on his titty?
Yeah.
That's sick. What is her name?
Monette.
It
Ron
says
and
Monette
Monette.
on his titty.
Yeah.
That's a fucking sick name to get tattooed.
Yeah, that's hard
Yeah.
as fuck. Sometimes I wish, like, there's like those OG tattoos. Like, I wish I just had like my mom's name on my titty, you know? But
Just that.
just that.
Yeah.
Because like my
Like
chest piece is
OG.
fine. It's okay. Sometimes I wish it was a different chest piece and it was just like name. But so what was your first tattoo? Let's talk about that.
My first tattoo is this. Oh fuck. Is this infinity symbol? This is from Be Here Now, which is like a fucking rite of passage to the spiritual world. Are you guys familiar with Be Here Now by Ram-Dass?
Oh yeah, totally.
So-
You know what though? Tell everyone in podcast land, tell Grits and Gravy, because this is important stuff for people to know. What? Grits, Gravy.
What's so funny?
Here's my question. What's so funny?
It's just hilarious when you call us grits and gravy like that.
It's so good.
Are those
That's
not your
fucking-
names?
Those are names. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair.
At the end of the day, when we are going to be, this lovely podcast is going to be absorbed by a like multi-billion-dollar broadcasting conglomerate. And when I say these are my producers, Grits and Gravy, is that incorrect?
No, that's
That's
totally
gonna
correct.
stick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their names.
Grits and
That's
Gravy.
Grits and Gravy. There we go, locking it
I
up.
bought my mom a car. Spent the rest on PCP.
Oh my god, not PCP.
Not PCP. Oh, how's that wine?
Smacking.
It's chill. It's smacking.
It's so good.
I just want to say too,
He's getting trashed.
DJ Michael Miguel,
You're.
because I can't do it on the actual day. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Virgo?
Yes.
Yeah, that
When's
Virgo
your
energy.
actual B-day?
September 2nd.
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon. So we won't be able to say it on podcast. I'm just gonna do it now
Happy
because I'm
birthday.
afraid I'm gonna forget, and then I'm gonna be very upset if I forget.
We'll be at Benihana's. It's okay.
I know. Let's get back to the questions.
So first tattoo.
We are
my
18
pops-
minutes into this, and one question has been answered.
Tell everyone about Ram Dass and.
Oh right. So Ram-Dass was he was a Harvard professor in the 60s, along with Timothy Leary, who's another counterculture icon. They got turned on to psilocybin mushrooms and were running experiments with students, and there was a whole falling out because of questionable behavior. I mean, like, their whole worlds were melting, so of course, huge learning curve there. So Harvard professor turned to spiritual guru. He wrote this amazing, beautiful book called Be Here Now, and the core of it is like brown pages and just like all of his illustrations and just beautiful spiritual, like almost like cryptic, but if you know sort of spiritual messages. I was introduced to the book my sophomore year in high school, which was also after the summer I got turned on to LSD. Again, entertainment purposes only.
Quote LSD.
And I felt like such, I mean, I've always been an outsider amongst people my age, but I especially felt like an outsider at that school. As a public school. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there's like a huge Mormon community in Las Vegas. And I just so happen to live.
I did not know that.
I live by the like Mormons and mobs. That was the foundation of Las Vegas, which is the fucking paradox that I love. So my American Lit teacher noticed that I was very, like, I guess, excluded from most of the kids. And he told me to read that book. and it was life-changing. And I think that's what sort of also jump-started, in conjunction with doing LSD, is what jump-started my spiritual journey.
So let me ask you this. And normally I just say, oh, what do your parents think about you being tattooed? But in this way, because you did say that like your parents are like Filipino hippies, how do they feel about your very first tattoo being a bookmark that you were interested in things like psychedelics and the teachings of life.Dos and things like that? Like what was their reaction towards that?
I think my first tattoo, I can't even recall, because it's fairly safe, you know?
Yeah.
It was definitely this one that they're like,
we're going to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about your
so
LSD
I can't
tattoo.
even recall. I feel like their reaction is probably so mid that I don't even remember it.
Oh, they were just like, oh, sick. Yeah, tattoos. Everybody's got them.
Yeah.
So you were just talking about Vegas, living there, doing the Vegas thing. Ultimately, was it easy for you to say, fuck it, I need to come to LA. I want to have all these businesses. I want to work with creatives. Was it a little bit bittersweet leaving Vegas, or were you like, later Vegas, I'll see you around?
It was totally bittersweet, but I was definitely ready.
Why?
Because although I found a creative community down there, or up there, I guess, if we want to be geographically accurate and shit.
We do. This
It's
is
over there.
Yeah.
It's over there.
Although I found a really great creative community, it's just I was born there. So I just felt like if I really want to level up, I have to go somewhere that's going to test me and ask me who the fuck am I and what am I made of? And there's a limit to that in your hometown, I think.
That makes sense. Okay, quickly, without thinking about it.
Okay.
Top 5 locals only Las Vegas things.
Commonwealth.
What you just can't say a word without explaining it.
Okay, you said off the cuff. Commonwealth is a bar downtown on Fremont.
There we go. That helps. Commonwealth.
Arepas in downtown, really great, amazing arepas. Arepa? Oh, it's like a Venezuelan food.
Yeah, it's gas.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, it's good.
Good as fuck.
You like
Gooder than a bitch at Arepas, Las Vegas. I'm gonna have to plug in my parents' scooter business, Sin City Scooters.
Yo,
they're-
shout out Sin City
Yeah.
Scooters. If you're in Vegas, if you're visiting Vegas, you need
Sin
to
City
scoot
Scooters.
around. Go see them.
Yeah, they get especially busy during EDC because parking is terrible and it's so much easier to just take a scooter there. That's
That would be 3.
3. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
It's okay. Let's move on to the next thing.
Moving on. 3. We stopped at 3.
With-
It's a magic number,
Hey!
you know?
Whoops.
I'm on brand.
You keep doing it. So you get to LA. What is the first thing from living here, being an entrepreneur, all those things? What is like the most palatable thing that you noticed was the biggest difference from LA to Vegas? Other than just like geographically and your family and comfort.
I go on about this and it's so little but so big. The fucking billboards.
Really?
Yes, because in Vegas it's all lawyers and fucking $2 steak and eggs and, you know, and like I just remembered even before I moved out here, I was like, I love that the billboards are movies and they're ads that are speaking to the locals.
Yeah.
Whereas Vegas is, you know that people are here for a good time and that's it. It's not like a place you stay and call home. It's like the economy of Vegas very much serves visitors and tourists. And coming to LA, I loved that people know this is where people live and call or try to make a home.
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up. I noticed when they put up it's in West Hollywood, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles billboard. This is a giant skateboard. It was on like 40 different people's Instagram. Like everyone just driving by it, and I was like, okay, we get it. It's a giant skateboard. Like that
We
is
love
definitely
it.
an LA thing.
The other thing too about Vegas that I found funny, I lived there for like on and off for like a year, and it was like all of those billboards that you talk about. Like it's, I feel like not only is it like aiming towards like tourism, but it also is just like such a sign of like how people out there, like sometimes you go to Vegas just to like, I don't know, not like die off, but like kind of fade away. It's like so sad.
I
like,
call it the land of broken dreams.
yeah.
Oh,
Like even on the strip, you've got Usher, you had Britney Spears. Like you think of everyone who has a residency, it's like they were at the end of their like career as far as like being the new hot young mainstream cool thing to now it's like they're sort of like a novelty like if you want to feel something that
That's,
you
I
once
think,
felt.
the saddest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's sad, but it's true. You go to all,
RP Usher.
you go to
No,
like all
but
those
you know they're
nightclubs,
making
it's
money,
like,
so
fuck.
it. We ball. You feel
Exactly.
me?
Yeah, they're getting paid. I mean, listen, my pops lives in Vegas and he's out there being a psychopath. So whatever.
Eating $2 steak and eggs.
Literally, I guarantee he's probably like going to bed. He's like, I can't wait to have $2 steak and eggs tomorrow. Crazy motherfucker. So you mentioned early at the top of the episode, all of your different companies, working on YouTube, working with creatives and influencers and doing all this stuff on the internet, being an entrepreneur. Being in LA, what is that like? Because I think sometimes people come to LA and they're like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, I want to start this agency. Oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. But you're actually like in the thick of it and you're actually doing it. Is it difficult? Is there any recommendations you have for people out there that are trying to be in your shoes? How do you monetize that?
Ooh, so many questions. So what is it like in the context of Los Angeles?
Do you feel like there's way more opportunity here in Los Angeles?
Oh.
Like there has to be.
Totally. There's more opportunity, bigger budgets before this fucking recent recession. I'm like tossing out love prices everywhere because I'm like, I get it. You're a small business. I get it. We all hate corporations. Let's just try to help each other out.
For sure, which is great.
I think that LA makes the most sense because it's full of people who are, if Vegas is the land of dead dreams, it's like LA is where people are still fucking gunning for it. And that's what I find super inspiring. I think that what I have found surprising and actually great is that there's enough shine for everyone.
Yes.
And there's no need to compete. Collaboration is like really how we all grow collectively. And I think when I first came out here, like, and just with egotism in general, it's just like, I think we feel that we have to protect and we feel like we have to be the best of the best. But now that I'm going on my third consecutive year here, being the entrepreneur that I am now, I'm finding a lot of beauty that collaboration is going to help us all. And there's no need to be like, there's no need to be stingy with your support.
Totally.
So I think that's the beauty of it. I think just like making connections in general, there's like this sort of post-pandemic era, like I'm like really close with who I know already, and like just everyone having to sort of push out of their comfort zone that I think we're all still sort of adjusting to. And I think LA is the great place for it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I agree. And I also think that you're 100% right about there being strength in collaboration. It seems like any person in my experience who kind of did this thing where they took like their shine or their clout or whatever and kept it really tight, it's starting to, like anything, it starts to fall through your fingers. And especially with like being a business owner and starting the shop and starting the podcast, like there really is strength in numbers. And I realized that we were talking about this earlier, that like everyone in LA knows everyone and everyone's connected. And I feel like either you're a part of the positive crowd or you're a part of the negative crowd. And the people in the negative crowd are the ones that are like freaking out and doing all this shit. And the people that are in the positive crowd are like, we'll figure it out because we're out here helping each other out and we're doing what we can. And I understand that you only have X amount of dollars to do this, or we got to move this to move that. Like we're out here helping each other. And to me, that's what's super important. And I think for myself as a business owner, for yourself as an entrepreneur, the way to get ahead in life is collaborating and working with people and creating wealth within your community so that you don't have to go to other outside communities to get that wealth. So it's a beautiful thing. I love Los Angeles. How many times have you gotten tattooed in LA? Because I know you get tattooed in Vegas too. Is it just me here, or have you gotten tattooed a lot in LA?
I think you might have been my first in LA, and then I went to Taylor Fortuna. She did my Divine Energy ones. And yeah, the rest, this was like my brother's tattoo artist where the shading's all fucked up. And I look at his Instagram now and I'm like, you're killing it now, but not when I went to you.
It happens. Sometimes we're
and
learning.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It was my first tattoo too. And then these two and my throat is from B-Boy Smurf in Vegas. So yeah, just you. And I don't have a lot of tattoos really, deceivingly.
I think you have your throat tattooed. That kind of kicks it up a notch.
No, my boyfriend Larson was like, you look so tatted until you're naked, but we changed that.
Damn, conversations from the bedroom.
That
Shit.
was real. And then now I feel like this hip tummy tat that you've done, like I feel like that was really what I needed to like it's the tipping point. Now I'm like full on addicted.
Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah. So let's talk about your throat. I think this is a really interesting topic. And I think that this is something, especially with the podcast and young people and people in LA. So you have your throat and your hands tattooed. And your hands say divine energy, which is like really dope. I really appreciate how powerful that is and all those things. Your throat says lovely sort of death, or LSD. And that's a pretty bold thing to put across your throat, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you're going to be working with people that maybe are millionaires or influencers or anything like that. Having that tattoo, has it been a positive or a negative experience? And what do you say to anyone who's like, I want to be like her. I want to tattoo my throat and be an entrepreneur.
Okay. I think for me, spiritually, it's been a positive thing. There's layers to this shit. Do we even have time to get into the layers? Okay.
Yeah, get into the layer. We got past me dicking around for 15 minutes and we're on to a normal path. So yes, we're good.
So I think initially to me, like it represents speaking my truth. Mm-hmm. And part of my just like deeply like embodied, my deeply knowing truth is a philosophical one, which is that like death is a part of life. Death gives life more meaning because we know it's all going to end soon. Death is the only thing that's guaranteed. So to me, that's why I want to remove the fear that we often feel around death and think lovely sort of death. It just so happens to be another lesson that that hit me really hard when I was on acid. And it's like a recurring, like comforting thought when I'm on LSD, allegedly. And that's also why they give it to patients who are in their like near death phase, if they're going through chemo or whatever, because it helps people like be okay with it. So that's that piece of it. One of my friends was like, and I don't realize how much more it means to me until people ask me things or tell me things. One of my friends said, did you get it on your throat because a $20 Erewhon drink almost killed you from anaphylactic shock? And so it was like, that was your death experience. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. Yes, that is exactly why I got it on my throat. So there's that. And then my other homie, Neil, was like, so it's a pretty bold placement. Like, you realize that's a job stopper tattoo.
That's like the thing that I kind of want to get to is like, especially because you're working with people that are maybe big names or people that have a lot of money or people that might be your white collar, button down type of people. In your experience, did you ever get any pushback? Do you ever get like any kind of like, so this is the person that's representing me? Like, or has it been a generally positive experience?
I think that if it would turn anyone off, I don't want to work with that person.
A good point.
And also, so I didn't realize that it was a job stopper tattoo until that, because a lot of my success so far with my agency and just me as a designer, creator, strategist, like my tattoo was never a question. And I think I love that I got it somewhere that was so exposed, because I'm so confident in my shit. Like, I'm so confident in what I can provide, the value I can provide, the shit I bring to the table for my clients, the value I create for my clients, that like none of my appearances matter. So I think it's a reminder to me that I can be this paradox. I can look like a fucking degenerate, but still deliver on some like dope shit and be a professional.
Absolutely. I think that you and I come from the same universe of letting your work speak for itself.
Yes.
I think that, yes, it is a luxury and a privilege to be able to be tattooed and also be good at what you do and be confident in yourself and be a good business person or have good business acumen. I do think that it doesn't come naturally. I think even with your tattoo, I'm sure there was some sort of turning point where you're like, I understand my worth. I understand my intelligence. Let's move forward. I try really hard. And this is something, I mean, everyone out there that's listening, that's maybe younger, that is new to their career, or hasn't found their career yet. I'm still always going to campaign for maybe chilling on tattooing your throat, your face, your hands, that you have a whole lifetime for that. But I think
it's my money, 90 to now.
I know. Listen, especially that Goyard print across your entire throat for $10. I know. Listen,
The Melrose shop is gonna do it for me. Come on.
I get it. The clout isn't going to get itself. But at the end of the day, if you're like between 18 and 21, let's keep
24.
Yeah.
Let's do 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Okay. Let's keep all of this stuff untattooed.
Like, you gotta earn this shit.
I agree.
I think you gotta earn this shit.
But I'm not the tattoo police. That's the other side of the coin. Is like I can't tell people what they can and can't get, and then they look at me and are like,
to
"Well,
me, if you're tatted on the face and you're dumb as fuck,
it's a wrap, right? It's
You were already cooked. You were already cooked anyway.
Your
so it doesn't
goose is
matter.
cooked.
yeah. Like, you better be fucking talented and like be Post Malone or something.
I'll say, when's the last time you met someone that had their face tattooed and was not dumb?
I can't recall, mate.
You know what? Actually, okay, I will say the homie Rich, he's a really good tattooer. And he has like kind of like future tribalism stuff on his face, and he's a super cool dude. Outside of that, shout out Rich. There's no way you're gonna hear this, but whatever. So we're talking a little bit about psychedelics. And I want to do the psychedelics talk. Obviously, we can't spend all night talking about it. And these are all quote conversations. These are alleged conversations. Quickly, I'm going to say this much. When I was 30 years old, I went to Joshua Tree with a girlfriend and some friends, and I took a little too much acid. They were Sour Patch Kids that had been dunked into LSD, and you were supposed to eat the head
Not
and then
even
the body.
dropped. It was
Dunked, yes. And they were in little like the salsa containers. And I, being the idiot that I am, instead of listening to what the person was telling me, I just ate the whole thing. And they said, well, we'll see Michael later because he's going to be on another place very soon. And I had a life-changing experience. It was one of the most positive, cathartic, bizarre, reawakening. It was just incredible. The two really weird things I did the next day as I was like cruising out of it. We were eating breakfast at a diner, and unsolicited, I just look at the waitress and I go, I just want to remind you that you're beautiful.
Oh my
And she was like, oh, she was like, she like did that. And she was like, because she was like a 60-year-old lady.
Wow.
And so that happened. And my girlfriend was like, yo, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just feeling really good. Like my brain feels really good. And we were climbing the rocks in Joshua Tree. We were doing the thing. And I kind of meandered off from the group, and I was just like sitting on top of a rock. And my girlfriend at the time came up to me and she's like, are you okay? Like, you just seem kind of off today. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just like sitting here, like listening to the wind. And acid is cool because of that. And it opens your brain up to that. But the thing that's unfortunate is like, you never really get it. I've been like chasing that feeling for 8 years now.
Oh, I see.
But for me, whether it's mushrooms, whether it's LSD, I don't really mess with like hard street drugs. Like I'm just a psychedelics dude. But I personally have had really positive experiences with it. I struggle really badly with depression. I struggle with like things like suicidal thoughts or not feeling like I'm enough or all the things that make this weird Michael, you know? And one of the only things that's been able to kind of keep me grounded and remind me that like I'm talented, that I'm a good man, that like I want to live, that like I want to stay here, and that my friends need me and I need myself and I love myself. Strangely enough, it's because of psychedelics. You know, whenever I get in a really bad place, I can just be like, okay, I'm going to like maybe take some mushrooms and chill, and then I'd feel better. And not to say that it's a catch-all, and not to say that it's for everybody. And much of it is about intention and going in with a good intent and respecting that the universe is about to hand you knowledge. So all that being said, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I think that's really beautiful and so telling about the person you are. When you were tattooing me and you were telling me about your past and like your upbringing and like all the shit that probably should have killed you, and like you are this person who you are today, which is like almost like positive, like almost unbearingly positive. But I love it.
I know.
But I love it
He's
because
heard
yeah,
the
I've
rumors.
heard that my positivity.
you
can
were
be a
in
bit
my
much.
head today when my car broke down, because I was like, I could fucking huff and puff and be annoyed as shit about this, but for what? It's not going to change the outcome.
Your car could be a horse.
My car could be a fucking horse. So when you tell me things about like all the human thought patterns, human like intrusive thoughts that you deal with, that psychedelics has helped you break out of, I think that's so beautiful and very telling to who you are. I love the science bit of it. I don't know it deeply on the scientific level, but I do know that there is a system in our brains called the default mode network. That's where like the patterns of the shit talking to yourself, talking down, the doubt, the depression, the everything that your mind just has on loop naturally because we're on our fucking phones all the time, because the world is burning, because, you know, just all the reasons to have these default like thought patterns. Psychedelics on a scientific level, it's an antagonist, so it breaks those patterns, and
Yes.
which is why we're able to step outside of it, because even though that is what our mind tells us, like in actuality, it's really not that fucking bad. In actuality, your anxiety is not going to change the outcome. It's just all that stress, all those thought patterns that'll become what you fixate on. And I think psychedelics has a beautiful and a scientific way of breaking you out of those patterns.
Yeah.
I think as with anything that has gone very popular, I'm like just now getting back into my spiritual practice. I haven't done psychedelics like full send in a long time. I think because I've been so worried about surviving that I know that is like a deep dive, and just who I am now. I need the full day and the day after and maybe a day after to really like integrate and understand, and just like go all out. Because so lately I've only been doing like quarter tabs, very small doses, and haven't like fully surrendered or let go to it. But I do think that psychedelics is a great reminder, and it's a great tool. What I think part of also its mainstream sort of its mainstream appeal and like the capitalism side of it, and it being medicalized and marketed as the new Prozac. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that so much, because it really, like you said, it's not a one size fits all. It's not a catch all. It's not something that's going to solve your problems. And I think that it's entering it's entering the zeitgeist in the same way weed has.
Yes.
And I hate the weed industry.
If you can't sleep, just smoke some weed. It's like that doesn't.
Hey,
know.
are you feeling stressed?
Smoke some weed.
Yeah.
Hey, can't get your dick hard? Smoke some weed. It doesn't.
Your dick won't get soft? Smoke some weed.
And that is the problem. And I think that whenever someone comes to me wanting to understand psychedelics a little bit better, because it's so, especially your first go around, you need good people around you. You need to be in a safe setting, because especially, and for anyone out there that's listening to this, it's maybe like, I want to try acid. It's pretty intense the first time.
I think acid has to find you. Don't go looking for it.
I agree. I tattoo someone who, her and her roommate got on this thing of like, acid's going to fix all of our problems. And they took acid together and had a really bad trip. And I was talking to her about it, and she said that her roommate went into it with the intention of like, basically, universe, give me all the knowledge so that I'm smarter than everyone else. And it spanked him. And he had a really bad time because he went in with a very narcissistic and egotistical intention. Whereas like for me, if I'm going to, like you said, like the full send thing, I'm going to go into it with the intention of like, how can I be a better man? How can I
asking questions instead.
And interestingly enough, and I don't know if you can speak on this as well, 10 for 10, every single time the universe will answer my question. And in a very clear and very concise way. Not where I'm like, I wonder. Like, there was a time when I was fully going to quit tattooing. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm not good at this. I'm not going to get better. My art is very average. Like, I'm not where I want to be. And I took some acid, and I was like, just like, if I need to stop, then just tell me. Because like, I don't want to waste anyone's time, and like, I don't want to waste people's skin. And if there should be someone in my position that's more passionate than me and better than me, then show me how to put them there. And the universe like very clearly was just like, keep pushing, dude. Like, I get it. And I know you're upset, but like, you just got to keep, it's everything around you. It's not you. And that was very illuminating for me. I really trusted, again, for everyone that's out there, like, I'm not saying go take acid. I know you aren't either.
Yeah.
But if it finds you and you are around people like myself or allegedly Roxanne that are familiar with this stuff and like can put you in a good setting, and if you start to freak out, we can kind of take you off the ledge. And it's not meant to be a big fucking party where everyone's doing tabs and smoking weed and drinking, like in the same way that it is a I know DJ Michael Miguel, I know
Grits trying to have a good fucking time.
Grits and Gravy over here shaking their heads at me like we're just trying to have a good fucking time. Give us all the drugs.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But I think that it's just, if it finds its way to you and you're going to do it with intention and do it with love, and you should be okay. Is there anything else for anyone out there that like is considering it that you can give them recommendations or advice? Or
I think the biggest thing is just letting it find you and don't force it ever.
It's like a lot, like as much of a throwaway thing this is, I think with creating, finding yourself, getting on track with your mental health, intimacy, any of those things, if you force it, it's not going to be fun.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And if you do embark on that journey, water and fruit, maybe a couple beers. Yeah. And if not beer, something bubbly to sip on.
My famous words when I'm on LSD are, have you had water? Do you need to go to the bathroom? I want to ask everyone that all the time. And it'll be like, yo, you asked me that literally 2 minutes ago. And I'm like, but for sure. Have you had any water? Do you need to go to the bathroom? and those words just like replay in my head. I don't know why.
Essential life activities.
I guess I'm just worried about peeing my pants and getting dehydrated. That's what the insight into my brain.
One of my friends from Canada, she is so good at diverting like any awkward situation. But she said whenever she has a trip that she feels is going not good, she says everything is beautiful. Which is why I love that you told that older woman waitress that she is beautiful. Like this, just a reminder, like you're beautiful. I think that there's a lot of terror in the world, but there's also a lot of beauty.
Totally.
And if there is a truth that you need to latch onto to sort of like ground you as the world is breaking down as you know it, like that truth that everything is beautiful, I think is very like comforting.
Yeah. When I was there was that same trip when I was like in my 30s or in the beginning of my 30s, I started getting kind of a weird place, and I came to my girlfriend at the time and I said, hey, I'm kind of starting to freak out because my intrusive thoughts are becoming stronger than me. And it was like the most interesting thing. She like took me by my shoulders like very lightly and she said, then just don't be there. Ooh. And I was like, oh. And that was it. And then it literally like it broke it right away.
Yeah.
So, and I think that it's our brains are funny like that when they're so open and so vulnerable. You definitely
need a trip with people like that.
Yeah. And she was like so chill about it. And it wasn't like, oh, I love you. I'm here for you. She was like,
you don't have to make it a big thing.
Yeah. Just don't be there. Yeah. And then I wasn't. You and I obviously banter very well. We have like a very good back and forth. Something that you and I talked about when I was tattooing you, and I'm kind of curious about now, is like breaking down the myth of like LA fake friends and that everyone in LA is fake. Or you said something to me that I thought was so interesting about you saying that it was hard to navigate platonic relationships in Los Angeles or just in general.
Yeah.
But in your experience, being a creative, being an entrepreneur, being someone that's like a modern hippie, do you find that your sincerity and the genuine person you are attracts positive energy, or do you kind of have to feel out vibes? How do you surround yourself with good people?
I do like to think that I surround myself with positive energy because it's really the only thing I have time for. Like really my threshold for drama and anything negative is so low. Like I do that enough for myself. Like I'm good off that from other people. Navigating, and this is just coming from a girl who was like in a 9-year relationship and was like really telling myself to be single for a year, which I managed to do, but now in a new relationship, and everyone telling me you were in a relationship for so long, you got to have your hoe phase, you got to yada yada yada, like just all the external like advice and like what you should be doing and like just my thoughts of what I should be doing, and then just being like, I'm not bad looking, you know what I mean? So being not bad looking, personality low-key poppin', I'm also smart, I'm also hilarious.
Do one more so you make it a nice 5.
And I
passed 3, so
I spit bars sometimes.
She spits bars sometimes. There we go.
I think that it makes sense that we interact and engage with people who are attractive too, right? So there's like just that natural human side of like, who do we gravitate to in the first place? People that we think are cool, people who are probably attractive. I think I'm learning that, like, I don't know, I had this feeling like, is my friendship enough to offer this man? Or if he clearly shows some attraction, do I have to, is it like an all or nothing kind of thing? So that's what I'm like, I'm learning how to create boundaries around those sort of dynamics so that I can have friendships that thrive. Because currently, really my closest guy friends are people I've known since I was really young. So I'd say that like it is challenging making new friends now, because like it always starts with like a, hey, I think you're cute, via DMs on Instagram. It's like, well, I think you're cool, but I'm not trying to fuck.
Yeah.
And I just want to hang out, you know, can we just hang out? And that's cool. So I haven't figured shit out as far as how to like really navigate that. But I know that there are people here that I'm like, I think you're dope. And I might have already, I'm so innocent and naive. I think that everyone is just trying to be homies, but it's not until it's too late that I realize, oh, they want more.
I understand.
So that's tough to navigate.
It just, I guess, just feeling it out, using your best judgment.
Yeah.
Sometimes good people can turn into bad people, but you just got to be smart about it.
Yeah.
So you brought up the DM thing. And this is something that's been an interesting topic with me for a lot of the different people and women that have been on this show. For you, just for Roxanne, as Substance on Instagram, do you like social media? Do you like doing the social media thing, the TikTok, the YouTube, the all of it? Do you have fun with it, or for you, is it a job?
I'd say a lot of it feels like a job currently, but because I'm in this reemergence of like when you said I had a nice intro, that meant a lot to me, because I'm like, I've been fucking talking to and I've been having conversations with myself, because my recent revelation in life and like me trying to pivot and grow my creative agency is I'm at that point where I've done social media and just telling other people's stories, that I'm at that point where if I can't tell my own story well, then I can't do it for anyone else at this point.
Which is really smart and really self-aware. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's something that that's the whole idea of like fakeness. Because like, well, how the fuck are you going to tell me what to do with my brand if your brand sucks?
Right.
You know?
So I think I'm learning again to have fun with it. My posting on my own is so sporadic, and I oscillate back and forth of this matters, this doesn't matters, who cares, nobody cares, you should talk about this, nobody fucking cares. But, and that even like my whole reason for wanting to like retrieve from the psychedelic space, because it's become so corny, it's become so like everyone is on it. But that, even though naturally I want to like separate myself, I'm learning that that's what makes my resistance to that. And also me being a brown woman, first gen Asian American, that is more reason for me to contribute to the conversation. So that being said, I want to have fun with it again, and I think it can be fun. I hate feeling like a fucking victim to the algorithm. So I'm learning that I don't need to post shit as it happens.
Yes.
I don't need to fucking follow these TikTok trends and dance like just doing everything to me, which is very dystopian. Like everyone doing the same things.
Grits and Gravy here over doing the TikTok dances off camera.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Listen to a lot of Dua Lipa.
So I'm learning to have fun with it again, which I think is the whole point.
I agree. For me, I stopped caring and I stopped taking it personally. And for me, and this is something that I try to tell any of my friends that are creatives that need to have like an online footprint, don't take shit personally. Don't get caught up in the rhetoric of like, it's the algorithm and it's doing it and I have to do this. And like, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to be everything. And there is nothing more unattractive than someone crying about the algorithm or I used to get 1,000 likes every time I posted a picture. And I'm like, truly no one cares.
If I never have to hear the word shadow banned ever again in my entire fucking life, it'll be fucking too soon.
Like, who cares? At the end of the day,
On a real note, I got shadow banned the other day.
really?
No. Well, my video got taken down because I was doing dangerous activities.
Were you doing steroids in the bathroom at LA Fitness? Because that I
24-hour fitness.
I'm sorry, 24-hour fitness.
Not in the video. He was doing that in real life.
No, I was just swerving on my motorcycle, and they're like, "Oh, this is dangerous. How dare you?"
Oh, that was badass though.
I was playing ski at the same time, so
I fuck with it. But yes, social media is as fun as you let it be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the angel number thing quickly.
Okay.
So my dear friend Amor, friend of the show.
Hey, shout out Amor.
Oh yeah, you know Amor.
Yes.
Yes. So Amor said for her angel numbers are like a green light in life. If she's like on the fence about something and she sees her angel numbers, that means go. How do they feel for you? And you said especially the number 3 is very, very important to you. Mm-hmm. What is your relationship to that?
So one of my favorite absurdist lines is that everything happens for whatever reason you make up afterwards.
That's facts.
Like, oh, I missed my flight. I guess I was meant to have this cheesecake while I wait for the next whatever.
Respect. I
you
like
know,
that.
I think, and people ask me if because I'm an existential shoddy at heart. People ask me if I'm a nihilist, but no, I'm an absurdist. And the difference is that nihilists think that life has no meaning, and that's it. But absurdists believe that life inherently doesn't have a meaning, but you can create that meaning.
Okay.
And that's what sort of makes this whole shit worth it. So although I do believe in like astrology or I reference astrology a lot, angel numbers, etc., I still think in the end it's whatever the power is in the human mind and consciousness. It's whatever you think.
Yeah.
And I loved hearing Amora's take on that because it made me think about more what it means to me. And I think I'm a whatever you make up after sort of gal, because after I got tatted by you, I went to order Kyo-chan, and then I just ate that shit and fucking knocked out. My order number was 222.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of times where I've made big decisions just off intuition and just like, and there was controversy to that decision, every time after an angel number showed itself to me. So instead of not so much a green light, but yeah, that was a good choice.
That makes sense. It's like it validates what happened. And I think I've told people, I mentioned this with more, like, I mean, the letter M is super present in my life, like constantly. I feel the same way. Yeah. Straight up throwing up those double M's. For me, it's like you made the right choice.
Yeah.
Or you're headed in the right direction. So stick with it. Mm-hmm. What's like really inspiring you? What's pushing you? What's got you like feeling a type of way? Music, art, TV shows, movies, anything out there that's really, really moving you?
Right now, this tattoo that you did on me got me moving different, my guy.
Hell yeah.
It got me moving so different. I shared on Threads like around the time that I got it. It really helped. Like, I think there's levels to this shit, but on the surface level shit, it helps a lot with my body dysmorphia.
Cool.
Because I grew up as a fat kid. There's this term called tabachoy in Tagalog, which means fatty or chubby. And that was what all my family called me. So I've got this internalized image of me being really fat.
Okay.
You know, inner child healing, it's a journey. And I purposely hide my tummy. Like, I purposely hide my belly button. I'm very like, any bathing suit I've had, it's all been like high waist and just like, I don't show my stomach. But since I got this tat, I was like, yeah, you know, now I have a body tat. This shit is just for me. But now that I got it, I'm like, yo, people need to see how dope this is. And it's made me just more comfortable in my body. And then obviously there's the spiritual meaning to it. There's just like, I got this in this time because it's marking a transformation in my life. So I've been obsessed with it.
Good.
And that's been like I've been more on top of my working out. Like, I've been doing Pilates every single day.
Yeah,
like,
it's dope as fuck.
Thank you.
Tattoo is dope.
I told Micah, I was like, I'm not gonna let this get to my head, but this post popped off.
Yeah, it really popped off on Instagram. I mean,
And just as a digital media marketer, I'm gonna look at that shit
Yeah.
because
I think tattoos are great in that way. Like they can be really healing. I mean, I
Yes.
feel like in my own way, I kind of also, I've talked about this a little bit, you know, and we've talked about a little bit, like my dad was a bodybuilder. I grew up in a house of physical fitness. I grew up in a house of like having a dad who's like a fucking statue. So that shit gets in your head. And I definitely have issues with my own body and issues with like feeling buff. And like, I was literally, when I was flying back from Miami,
are you man enough?
I was watching Creed 3 and I was like, I need to be as jacked as Jonathan Majors or nothing. So that's never going to happen because he's made out of solid ebony. The guy's
And he is doing steroids 100%.
dude, that's a beautiful man though. I have no
Hell yeah.
Woo!
He's that civil rights fine, as the internet would say. The internet said it, not me.
DJ Michael Miguel, that one really fucking got you.
He's cooked.
Yeah, dude, grits and gravy cooked over here. Get him off the stove because he's cooked. One last thing that I did want to talk with you a little bit about. I think that you actually have a really cool personal style. Damn, are you still over there laughing? Every time I've ever
told you
tattooed
I'm
you,
hilarious.
the internet, all that stuff. How do you have like a cool personal style like this? Because I think right now, a friend of mine said something very interesting. He said that what's in style right now is personal style. It's not about following a trend. It's not about like, this is the look right now. When you look at something like the late 90s, very specific style for everyone. Nowadays, it's like I feel like I'm back to dressing how I did when I was 15 years old. I wear like
It's
baggy
a
pants
fucking
and big,
vibe. The
Yeah.
army pants.
my Bob Marley, my
Yeah.
Illinois Ceramics Bob Marley
This
shirt.
palette, I'm really digging.
Thank you. What is the key to success with having a good personal style that represents you as a person instead of just going like, that looks sick on this Urban Outfitters mannequin, I'll just rip that shit off?
Well, first of all, thank you for even like wanting to know what I think about this, because like I said, didn't grow up thinking I was creative, didn't grow up thinking I was a stylist, like I was the stylish one. But I do think it's one of those things, like with my professionalism, my expertise, it's one of those things that you know through self-knowledge and knowing who the fuck you are. And that's why I do think personal style is like super big and like cuts through the noise, because it's like, I think at the same time, I think we're nothing special and special at the same time, you know?
Totally.
Like, I don't want to think I'm so original, I'm so fucking like different. But we are all beings made up of very different experiences and upbringings that I think once you really know what works for you, the fabrics you like, the silhouettes that work for you, I think getting this tattoo is also the first one that where I was really intentional about placement.
Yeah, for sure.
And like knowing, because like I grew up just looking at like super hourglass curvy women, and like I'm not that.
Yeah.
So just knowing what actually works for me. So I think this is why it's also my favorite tattoo and has helped me fix my body dysmorphia, because I'm doing what actually works for me and my body type. So again, a lot of self-knowledge, a lot of like knowing what looks good for your body type, knowing what you like, knowing just like the colors that speak to you, and just not mimicking what you see.
Yes. And I think another really good thing is to just cover your body in tattoos, because it'll just make it look cooler. And no matter what beautiful body shape and size any human has, tattoos are only just going to make it look better, especially tattoos by me.
Talk your shit.
I mean, hey, that's just talking facts.
Yeah, that's just truth.
Straight up truths. Look at this Simpsons sleeve. It makes Corey's arm look buff, cut, like Jonathan Majors hitting Adonis Creed right in the face.
I thought it was funny that you bring up like the body dysmorphia and how you felt like the tattoo changed your thought process of it, because like, I mean, it's no fucking secret, I am a gentleman in almost his mid-30s, so it's like I'm losing my hair, and it's like the way that I was able to get around that was I was like, yo, I'm gonna get my fucking head tattooed a bunch and like
Fire.
make it feel better that I don't have fucking hair. So yeah, it was cool. Big shout out to Michael.
You're beautiful the way you are.
Man, I love you for that shit.
I love you too, buddy. Thank you for being here, Roxanne. This has been so nice. I'm so glad we've gotten to talk about psychedelics and life and love and style and tattoos and all this sick shit.
Here we fucking go.
But here we fucking go. Yours was an easy one. Sometimes I have to really labor over these mystery questions. Sometimes they come to me as quickly as anything. And this particular one, I feel like I was struck by lightning.
Oh, damn. All right.
Struck by lightning.
Yes.
Wow, dude, you just skipped 2 hurricanes. Calm down.
Hey, I said it once, I'll say it again. The weather respects me. The atmosphere, I guess, respects me. Who can say? Let's say you go home tonight, okay? Mm-hmm. You do like your evening ritual. You wash your face, you brush your teeth, whatever it is, the things that you do. Maybe you smoke a little bit of that good stuff.
Smoke a
to
day.
maybe kind of calm down.
I don't do that before bed.
He just swallowed the roach, motherfucker.
Okay, well, you whatever. You get in bed, you're comfy cozy, you drift off.
Cozy.
Yes, exactly. The double C.
Seize up.
See both sides like Chanel.
50
I was just
feet.
listening to that
Shout
song on
out,
the way
Frank.
here.
See both sides like Chanel.
That's not how the tune goes.
What? Yes, it totally is. See both sides like
There we
Chanel.
go. That one was the other one was a little bit more flat.
Drag me. I didn't have dreams of being a singer ever.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
You go to sleep. You fall into a deep, deep, deep sleep.
Deep.
And you're woken up and your room is like filled like a kaleidoscope with color. Okay? And you're like, am I dreaming? Am I awake? And there's a being in your bedroom. Okay? And you're like, yo, like kind of freaking out, like what the fuck? And the being is like, no, it's cool. Like I'm an alien. I'm from another planet. And I just kind of like hang out in y'all's atmosphere. And I just kind of like search for people that are like-minded, like me.
Okay.
She was in it first.
I'm trying to visualize.
However this alien looks, let's just go with like your very atypical.
I'm imagining now fucking the mayor of The Simpsons.
The mayor of this, like Mayor Quimby?
No, the guy who's like this.
That's Mr. Burns. He owns the nuclear power plant.
I'm
You're
imagining
thinking of
him.
what's tattooed on DJ
Yeah.
producer
Oh
Corey's
yes,
head. Yes, okay.
literally that's what
Yes.
I imagined.
Okay.
He's come to bring us love. Let's
Yeah.
kill him.
Okay.
It's that. Okay, just because in its actual form you can't perceive it. So it's in this form as Mr. Burns so that you can perceive it, okay?
Okay.
And it's got like a calming voice, super nice. Like I said, your room is filled with warm colors.
Kaleidoscopes. Got
Kaleidoscope of colors. And you're like laying in bed. You're like, okay, I trust you. This feels good. And he's like, yo, I got this alien weed. On my planet, like on your planet, some of your people indulge in this drug that you smoke. And we basically roll it up in this alien plant. And just like you do, we light it with fire and we smoke on it and we share it back and forth amongst 2 like-minded people. Now, here's the thing. The last person I smoked with, after we got finished smoking, they went out of their mind because there was too much knowledge of the universe, too much knowledge of history, the ancients, all those things. It downloaded too much onto their brain and that motherfucker went crazy and jumped out the window. But I think your mind is strong enough. Can you handle it? Can you sit and have a session with this alien, smoke that alien bam bam, get real nice and high, have some visions? Yeah, that alien Zaza.
Why are you talking like an undercover cop right now? What the fuck?
You guys got any white pony around here?
Do you have the mental strength to smoke the alien weed and not go out of your mind? Or you can also just say no. Like you can do some
just say
cop shit and
no,
be like, nah,
dare.
I'm all set.
Just say no. PCP will throw you. Man, that stuff will kill you.
So is that what you're going to tell the alien?
No. First, I'll be like, motherfucker, is this DMT?
It's not DMT. We'll just say
what
that
you just described. No, I haven't done DMT yet, surprisingly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. It's fine.
So if mystical magical alien white glowing Mr. Burns asked me to smoke this alien weed,
Yes, for him to smoke you out with its alien weed. And let's just say like it's so mystical too that it's just like a floating joint that just goes up to your mouth and you just go like and then it floats back to the.
Does it kind of glow a little bit? I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah. We'll say it's
I'm
like
envisioning a
that's what I'm
glow.
in my
imagining
mind,
too.
it's like purple and green glowing with like
Yeah,
blue
yeah, yeah.
sparkles. Yeah.
Well, I guess as any scientist would say, I would have to fuck around and find out.
Hell yeah. Do you think truly, in your heart of hearts, do you think you can handle it? Do you think you get the visions, you get the knowledge, and you like sit up in bed the next morning, you're like, damn, I'm ready to like, let's get this money, let's do it, let's grind.
I mean, what night is this? Is this like a Wednesday night?
This is
Thursday
tonight.
night?
This is
would be
tonight,
tonight?
Thursday
Do I got
night.
shit to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, because I do low-key have shit to do tomorrow. Be a bit risky. I'd like to maybe propose another time on the calendar, but if this was like a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing...
You're telling me if an alien comes to your bedroom at 3 a.m. and wants to smoke you out, you're going to hit him with scheduling conflicts? You're going to be like,
Yeah.
my
Yo,
boy.
I gotta get my car fixed tomorrow, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Listen,
about?
I don't know if you see my calendar, but I don't have time to get smoked out all night. Maybe 6 Saturdays from now. Are you available then?
I gotta figure it out.
Because... Well, it's just like if it was literally... Mate, if it was literally
Tonight or nothing.
Tonight, I've got a photo shoot where I talk about who the fuck I am. I'm sort of on this wave. I don't know why I'm suddenly talking in a British accent. I'm sort of on this wave where I'm like really working on telling my story.
Okay.
And tomorrow, I have a really big photo shoot that's just for myself. And it's with a photographer I really admire and respect. And like Crystal, who would do the makeup, and Aaron, who's styling. So like tomorrow, specifically, my guy, very bad timing.
But imagine if you could pull up and you'd be like, yo, you're not going to believe this shit.
But if it was also like DMT, which I haven't tried, like I for real haven't tried
Allegedly.
DMT. If it was like DMT and lasted for 15 minutes, I would totally be down. I'd have questions and then I would be down. Like I think generally I'm down, but in this case, I would have to ask questions because of said circumstances. Mañana. I got
get
shit to
it.
do.
I get it. Listen, that tells me that you're not really down. Because if you were really down, if you were down like Michael Manarino's down, I'd be like, yeah, I got 5 appointments tomorrow. Pass me that shit.
You're
That's crazy.
built
I'm already
different.
canceling my appointments. That's wild.
To whom may
Manarino.
concern.
Mr.
Yo,
Burns, let's get crazy.
yo, Manarino is built different.
Show you the devil.
It's true. Okay, how about this? You would get smoked out and then you would just wake up refreshed like a motherfucker.
Beautiful. I'm with the shits.
And you would go to your photo shoot tomorrow, say what's up to Crystal, the homegirl, and be
And
like,
slay
yo,
it.
an alien smoked me out last night.
Yes.
Okay. So if there's any intergalactic beings that are listening to this, you are open to being smoked out by alien drugs.
Pull up.
On a Friday night.
Yeah, but maybe wait till
Friday.
tomorrow.
As long as there's not any
Yeah.
scheduling conflicts. As long as there's not any scheduling conflicts.
Friday's. I'm a business bitch. I'm a business bitch. That also comes with my time. Very valuable. Can't be doing spontaneous shit. Damn, see what happens when the natural wine kicks in?
That is what happens when the natural wine kicks in. Truly wise words. You see what happens when the natural wine kicks in. Well, again, thank you for being here. I hope that I hope that your photo shoot tomorrow goes great.
Thank you
Please
so
tell
much.
Crystal I said what's up.
I definitely will.
But more importantly, I hope an alien comes down from planet 420 to share their magical wonder weed with you. And
That's
I'll be
why I
like,
fucks with you. You're a dreamer. I swear. Like, you speak in novels,
my life is hectic.
to say the least. Damn, according to Grits and Gravy.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of darkness in
There's,
this head.
there's more darkness up here than you know. Trust me. That's the only way I cope with it. When we were in Miami with some friends, shout out Anna and Tavis,
Shout out.
nonstop. I was like, would you rather? What about this? What about this? And I feel like by the end of the trip, they were just like, dog,
Does she know it?
Do I know it?
please.
Tell
Grits,
me.
gravy.
Would you rather be Pitbull the artist or Pitbull the dog?
Ooh.
And please explain your answer.
Well, obviously, Pitbull's the dog have such a bad rep. Like, I don't know who's doing their marketing. I don't know who's doing Pitbull's marketing, and I grew up with the Pitbulls, so I know them to be loving animals, but they've got a bad rep. The material conditions in which Pitbull the rapper lives in, like, I'm sure he's got royalties and residuals that are lasting him, so clearly I don't want to Pitbull the rapper, unfortunately.
Okay. But if
Break a stigma. It's cool.
the representative for Pitbull's the dog listens to this, they can hit you up for representation.
Yes.
You can help them get their brand back on
Pitbull
track.
agency coming through.
Okay.
Any pit bulls listening, I will change your whole image.
What would be your first step to getting the Pitbull brand back on track?
We started TikTok. Just kidding.
We started TikTok 10 posts a week at least. Okay.
And it's like babies cuddling with TikToks. It's like a little kid like pulling a Pitbull's face and nothing happens. People pulling their tails, nothing happens.
You come up with a sweet like minimalist logo.
Yes.
It says like Pitbulls. We're not all dangerous.
There we go. Hey, again, we're giving away valuable stuff for free.
Shit, my bad.
Very, very valuable stuff. Well,
Find us on Patreon.
you're the best. I appreciate you. Enjoy your sick tattoo.
Thank
Come
you
get
so
more
much.
tattoos.
I definitely will. I plan on it.
Good. I can't wait to hear about your photo shoot tomorrow. And I guess that's everything. I guess this has been another exciting, exhilarating, psychedelic fueled. No, this is not psychedelic fueled, but another wonderful episode.
Well, maybe the next time she comes on.
Maybe the next one.
I don't, dude. You
Let's see
want
the
to have
devil.
like with Robbie the bartender, but way more unhinged. Get her and I on psychedelics talking about the same topic for 16 hours.
We won't stop.
I don't got shit to do. It's cool.
Wow, season 3, episode 1. I am honored, enchanted by all y'all's presence.
Thank
Thank you
you
so much for having me on the show.
You're amazing. Thanks.
Also, tell everyone out there, I almost forgot how to get at you, how to follow you on Instagram, TikTok, how to hit you up about being part of your agency, how to get a mentorship from you, how to take acid with you, any of those things. Allegedly take acid, yeah. Any of those things, how can people get at you?
Well,
Look at the camera, give all your information.
Definitely taking acid with me is not one to advertise. However, if you want to follow me on IG, it is sub.stance substance in full. That's the best way to contact me through this level of things. If you're really about it, I am looking to grow my agency. So if you want to learn what I do, which is a lot of shit, then holler at me on Instagram.
Hey, fellas, don't slide into her DMs.
And don't do that.
I know what the guy on YouTube right now is like rubbing his hands together and is like, ooh, please don't. Please, I'm begging you. It's not necessary.
Hey, brother, just go to bed, man.
Yeah, literally, they're just there's a million other things you could be doing than sliding into strangers' DMs.
There's a new Madden out. Just go buy that shit and go play that
interesting.
shit.
Have you played it yet?
No, fuck no. I just watch people play it.
What a world.
Yeah.
What a fucking world. Well, thank you to everyone for listening. This podcast is produced by Grits and Gravy.
Grits and Gravy.
The triple OGs. The greatest producers to ever live.
GG.
Producer Corey Dunn and producer DJ Michael Miguel. Happy birthday, DJ Michael Miguel.
Thank you.
G&G.
Thank you again to Grits and Gravy. Our theme music is by Javi. This podcast is sick as fuck. And catch us again next week. The boy Fern is going to be here. We are going to, as he put it, not me, talk about big, big anime titties. So
Ooh, hentai.
get ready for that. Get ready for
Hentai.
Looks like we have a fucking topic for when you come back.
I don't
Thank
know
you again for
about
everyone for listening. This has been By Appointment Only, the Tatty Podcast. I'm reminding you to be tatted and stay tatted, to love each other and be good to each other. Roxanne, thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
I'll see everyone next week and have a wonderful evening. I love you. Bye.